Question 27. Kenzo has a solar-powered phone charger. Its power, P, can be modelled by the function P of t equals 400 sine pi over 12t, where t is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 12, where t is the number of hours after sunrise. Part A. Sketch the graph of P for t greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 12. The period is 2 pi divided by pi over 12, which equals 24, and the amplitude is 400. This is a sine curve that's been stretched horizontally as well as vertically, but it hasn't been translated or reflected. Now we're sketching the graph for values of t from 0 to 12, which is half of the period. Here is a sketch of the graph, so it's half of a sine curve, with the peak occurring at t equals 6. Power is the rate of change of energy. Hence, the amount of energy, E units, generated by the solar-powered phone charger from t equals A to t equals B, where A is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to B, and B is less than or equal to 12, is given by E equals the integral from A to B of P of t dt. Part B. Show that E equals 4,800 over pi multiplied by cos of A pi over 12 minus cos of B pi over 12. E equals 400 multiplied by the integral from t equals A to t equals B of sine of pi over 12t dt. And that equals 400 multiplied by negative cos of pi over 12t multiplied by 12 over pi from t equals A to t equals B. This multiplication by 12 over pi can be taken outside of the square brackets since 12 over pi is a constant. And that equals 4,800 over pi multiplied by negative cos of pi over 12t from t equals A to t equals B. Applying the limits of integration, we have 4,800 over pi multiplied by negative cos of pi over 12b minus negative cos of pi over 12a, and of course a minus minus becomes a positive or becomes a plus, and that equals 4,800 over pi multiplied by cos of pi over 12a minus cos of pi over 12b as required. Part C. To make a phone call, a phone battery needs at least 300 units of energy. Kenzo woke up 3 hours after sunrise and found that his phone battery had no units of energy. He immediately began to use his solar-powered charger to charge his phone battery. Find the least amount of time he needed to wait before he could make a phone call. Give your answer correct to the nearest minute. Solve for B the equation 4,800 over pi multiplied by cos of pi over 12a, where a equals 3, minus cos of pi over 12b is equal to 300. Dividing both sides by 4,800 over pi and evaluating pi over 12 multiplied by 3, we have cos of pi over 4 minus cos of pi over 12b is equal to pi over 16. Now cos of pi over 4 is equal to root 2 on 2. And we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by negative 1, which makes the equation a little bit easier to solve. So cos of pi over 12b minus root 2 on 2 is equal to minus pi over 16. Adding root 2 on 2 to both sides, we have cos of pi over 12b is equal to root 2 on 2 minus pi over 16. Taking the inverse cos of both sides, we have pi over 12 multiplied by b is equal to inverse cos of root 2 on 2 minus pi over 16. Therefore, b is equal to inverse cos of root 2 on 2 minus pi over 16 divided by pi over 12, which equals 3.95238 and so on, hours, and converting that into hours and minutes, that equals 3 hours and 57 minutes. Now to find the charging time, which is the amount of time that Kenzo has to wait, of course, charging time is 3 hours and 57 minutes minus 3 hours is equal to 57 minutes, so therefore Kenzo will need to wait at least 57 minutes before he could make a call. Part D. The next day, Kenzo woke up 6 hours after sunrise and again found that his phone battery had no units of energy. He immediately began to use his solar-powered charger to charge his phone battery. Would it take more time or less time or the same amount of time compared to the answer in Part C to charge his phone battery in order to make a phone call? Explain your answer by referring to the graph drawn in Part A. It would take less time. The graph peaks at t equals 6 and is significantly higher than at t equals 3. Hence, to get 300 units of energy, the area under the curve will have a narrower width from t equals 6 compared to t equals 3 hours.